Hey everybody, how's it going? This is a song that I'm putting together for a new tutorial and an EP I have coming out soon. And the cool thing about this setup is that I'm using both instruments and sensory percussion like samplers and soft synths and all that. Um, but I'm also using sensory percussion uh, for like the sensory percussion samplers and stuff. This wasn't really possible, at least for me and my gear, to use sensory percussion and Ableton for sound generation simultaneously. But now that it's a plugin and it's can be hosted within Ableton, that's no problem at all. And that's what I'm working on. So this is nice. But today I wanted to share this thing that I think I just figured out. A problem I was coming across was in this section. I have a really long synth or sample. It's like 15 seconds long. And I wanted to put it in a choke group, which is really easy to do in uh, sensory percussion standalone. Like you just go to a sampler, create a choke group, go to another sampler on any drum, or assign another sampler to the same choke group, and that's really easy. To choke an Ableton instrument with something from sensory percussion, that's the tricky thing. I created a workaround that works okay using velocity. So I wanted to choke the sound with a stick shot coming from my snare. And that's what this CC over here is doing. I just created velocity controller on the snare for stick shot only, which goes to the MIDI output CC1, and the range is just 0 only, so it'll go low no matter what. And then the floor tom has a uh, yeah another velocity controller that will only go high with any velocity at all, which effectively uh, toggles this based on the CC1 based on whether I play a stick shot or play the floor tom. Um, the way that I'm choking it is actually with on this chain. I am using this utility object and I mapped this CC1 to the gain and I scaled it so the maximum would be 0 and the minimum would be negative infinity. So you can see here on this utility object that I named toggle, the gain adjusts, effectively silencing it. That's cool and stuff, but for some reason it felt really clunky to me. And I also had a weird workaround with different sections. Uh, like I go into a new section and this would be the left low. So then I had to create these dummy clips over here with just to jumpstart each thing with CC1 being high. And that just felt really annoying to me. So I made a Max for Live device should address this issue, and I thought it would be fun to make a video of implementing it to see how it works. So this is the device. It's really quite simple. We're taking MIDI notes coming in on this track, sending out the velocity to the send, and these send objects allow you. We could just open this up to open up the reference to see what's going on here. Um, this allows you to send messages without patch cords, and somewhere in here it'll tell you that you can send data between devices, which is perfect for us. So what we're doing is we're sending out the velocity information and we're receiving it from other instances of this device on other tracks. And what this little thing here does is it takes that velocity coming in, and if it's not 0, that means a note on came, and that will send a bang, which triggers this flush object. And the flush object is where all the magic happens here. Basically, it outputs a note off message for any held note ons, which is exactly what we need for our cross channel choke group situation. So, upon receiving the information that another track has a note on, it will turn all the notes on this track off. And the way I created this is that we need to have several instances of it going simultaneously. And I'm on a mission to simplify my CC setup. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bold move and get rid of this, and then create another instance on my snare drum MIDI track. We can see if I do a stick shot, that's, I guess, C2. Yeah, that's my snare head, but the stick shot is over there on G2. So what we could do is create another chain and have that only adhere to G2. And I think that should do it. So now I can trigger the, oh, I need to get rid of that gain object, the utility object here, because that was stuck down there. Yeah, so now that I have two instances of this choke object set up, I can play the sound, and when I do a stick shot, it sends a note off. If you're interested in checking out these, this choke Max for Live device that I made, just drop me an email and I will happily share it with you. And please suggest any improvements to make this easier to use. Hope you found this helpful. See you later.